Good morning, VC. It's weird old Uncle Doompaul back once again after a month-long hiatus. Trying to get my equipment together and such. I now have. And you get away from the records, kitty. Got four more for you today. Was recently lucky enough to have a vacation. Me and the wifey drove down to San Francisco from Boise and got to go to the infamous Amoeba Records, which is just absolutely just an amazing place to go. Just rows upon rows of. I think I only spent 40 minutes in there because it tends to be overwhelming, and I immediately found four things that I just couldn't live without, and that's what I'm going to be going over today. Got a bunch of other stuff in upcoming shows, but just to let you know I am back. You're welcome. And I know you missed all this. Who wouldn't? Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. First record is King Crimson's Lizard. I actually found this as a sealed copy. It was a repress from whatever, I think 1999. I'm just going to say 1999 because I guess I could look at the record itself. 2012, whatever, what will be is. I did a lot of research on this on the Prog archives. And this seems to be the record that sort of splits King Crimson fans down the middle. Either they dig it or they don't. I think this is only the second King Crimson record I've owned. I also own Lark's Tongues and Aspic, which I enjoy very, very much. And man, I dig this one. I'm firmly in the camp of people who enjoy this. It's from what I've been reading, it's sort of the free jazz sort of feel to it. It turns a lot of people off, and I don't get it. I think it just adds. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful record. Third King Crimson record, third major lineup. I think the only two people from the original record are Robert Fripp and the lyricist. So I guess they have their own lyricist, which is kind of funny because all the lyrics are just bananas. It's just sort of like Dada, brain to mouth. Nonsense. There's just a lot of, it's nonsensical. There's some recurring themes and stuff like circuses and stuff like that, but a lot of it's just nonsensical. And frankly, I am a lyrics guy and I am a words guy. But for some reason, this is it just doesn't matter to me on this record. The music carries the message. Which is what I really dig. And boy, I've been giving this a lot of spins, and every time I do, I find something new in it, and I really, really, really enjoy it. So yeah, King Crimson, Lizard, firmly in the yay camp on that one. The next, Radio Gnome Invisible Part 1 by Gong. It's a wacky gatefold, all the wacky nonsense that they put on everything here. I really, really enjoyed this record. I'm not the biggest fan of wacky in my music, and there's a lot of wacky on here. It's kind of why I don't like Frank Zappa, because a lot of it's sort of wacky and kooky, and I I had my phase where I liked Weird Al when I was sort of, I don't know, 12, or maybe not that early, but you know, I sort of grew out of it after that. Um, and there's definitely some wacky in here, but you know what? It really fucking works. Um, it really does. I mean, it's Canterbury prog, and I guess that's sort of a trademark for Canterbury prog, sort of the goofy, like if you look at Caravans like Golf Girl and stuff like that, there's some wackiness to be had. But like chanting like Banana, Nirvana, Montana, whatever, over and over again, and the whole story of the Pothead Pixies, um, whatever, I dig it, because these guys can play, and the compositions are really fantastic, and if you sort of dig past sort of the what's going on with the singing, which you don't always have to dig past because it's groovy, man. It's absolutely groovy. Um, just the underlying music it just sort of blows you away. So happy to have made this purchase. This is a repress that was $19.99. That's where I got the $19.99 from. It was this one on Get Back Records, and with a custom label. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not with the glare. I'm holding it upside down. But a lot of fun, this record, especially the final track, "Witchcraft." I Am Your Pussy. Just listened to that with the wife, and she pointed out how much it sounded like Bowie, and I totally missed that. And it kind of does. It kind of does. A lot of fun, that record. The next record, out of the four, this was certainly the most challenging record that I bought. The first spin, I didn't like it. Well, let me just go into it. It's Amendoul 2, Carnival in Babylon. And I don't think you can see, but it's a promo copy. Let me see if I can somehow do this. See, it's right there. It's pressed in. I've never actually seen one pressed in like that. The cover is kind of shit as far as it goes. It's definitely seen better days, but I was really happy to find this. I liked their Phallus Day quite a bit. I don't know if I'm pronouncing anything right. I don't know much about krautrock. I don't, but I know that I heard Phallus Day, and I really dug that from Amendoul, so I'll pick this up. And it's got all the Roman letters, so I don't really know what year it is, and that should speak to my fancy education, which I don't have. Here's the thing about Amendoul on this record. The singer, her name is, where is it? Renate Knop. I don't like her. She sings sort of in a soprano. It's almost grating. But the underlying songwriting is just so fantastic. She detracts from the record overall. She does. I'm getting used to her, and it's going to take a couple other spins for me to really sort of get into it. But I'm really, really enjoying the record. I think the songwriting's on point, and I don't know if you know the story of Amendoul. I'm sure you do, but I'm going to go over it anyway because why not? Amendoul in Berlin, the first Amendoul, was just sort of a collective of people due to political / artistic reasons who just got together, whether they could play an instrument or not, and just would hang out in the courtyard or something like that and just make noise. and they ended up recording a record or two, just making noise. Cheers. And Amon Düül broke off from that. I think it was some of the people that actually knew how to play instruments, and put out some records called Amon Düül 2. So, yeah, not super interesting story, but it's all in how I tell it. Anyway, the final, but definitely pick up Carnival in Babylon. It's worth putting in the effort for, and I definitely had to put in the effort for it. Final record I'm going to be talking about is my favorite record of all time. I had this on CD for many years, and MP3 and whatever, and I was just thrilled to have found it. It's not an original pressing or anything like that, but it's a, I don't know, whatever it is. It was put out by Phoenix Records on blah blah blah. I don't know. Not too long ago. Let's say 1999, because we'll go on that theme. But the actual record was put out in the early 70s, and it's a Flower Traveling Band, Satori. Might have even been the 60s. Dig this. Madness. Absolute madness. And I don't know if you ever get a chance to sort of study this picture, because it's just fantastic. The entire track is put up, the entire record is put up in tracks, Satori 1 through 5. It's a Japanese outfit. Man, from the first second of recording, where it's just sort of like a bomb whistle, and then a little bit of cymbals, and then a scream, a piercing scream, and then just getting into heavy plodding, just overpowering. There's not a note wasted on this record. My God. I don't have a bad thing to say about this record. I mean, from the first time I heard it, maybe 12 years ago or so, floored, just absolutely floored. It's a lot of people compare them to Sabbath because of the guitars, and describe them. I don't know. I think they're beyond categorization in a lot of ways. They're playing the sitar. They've got a lot of heavy, like, Indian stuff going on. They've got a lot of, like, just Sabbathian riffs. They've just got, and it's Joe's singing is just amazing. It's he's melodic. He goes to a scream. A lot of it's in, like, sort of broken English. It's all sung in English, but a lot of it's you can tell it's not their first language, which does not detract in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why that would, from the listening pleasure. If not, it enhances it. I fucking love this record. If you don't know about Flower Traveling Band, you're not going to find them on YouTube. For some reason, I think they have blocked all of Satori from YouTube. I don't know, find a way to find it. I don't know what magic you guys do on the internet these days to get your music. But just to listen to it, if you've never heard Satori, it's a must-hear. So, that's about it. That's all I got today. Should be back next week with 4 more records. Good to be back. Missed you guys. I've got a lot of catching up on videos to do. and yeah, but I had a vacation with my lovely wife to take, and I did, and got to go to San Francisco, see some fam, hang out, and go fishing. Anyway, I am not going to bore you with that anymore. But I will see you next week, and it's good to see you all. And let me see if I can find the stop button. Goodbye.